What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Retail Coffee Break. I am your host, Nick McHenry, and this is a conversation that I had with a really good friend of mine, Nelson Howard. Nelson is the Chief Executive Jelly Bean Officer, self-declared, at Pockets Luxury Menswear in Dallas, Texas. But I know him as one of the best salespeople in the luxury menswear specialty store game, or I guess the luxury menswear game at all. And in this conversation, we just have such a good talk about how you can connect with your customers in a time like right now, when we're locked down, stores are closed, even if stores are opening. People are not swarming back to every single retail store. So you still need to think about creative ways that you can engage and build lasting relationships with your customers. So I really hope that you get something out of this conversation. I know that I did. Here we go. One quick caveat, there is a little bit of video lag on Nelson's video, but hey, that's life. We're gonna live, learn, get better. If you just drives you nuts about the lag, there is a podcast audio link above. Feel free to listen there. Let's get into it. Okay, so I am here with my buddy Nelson from Pockets of Dallas. If you want to introduce yourself, Nelson, a little bit about your background, what you do, that would be awesome.
What's shaking? I'm Nelson Huff. I work at a independent menswear store called Pockets. I've been around for 45 plus years. I'm like a lot of guys in retail. I kind of just fell into the business. The more I work in menswear, the more I realized there weren't a lot of guys who are like, yeah, I went to school for, business or men's whatever and got into the business. It's usually they were doing something else, and I was one of those. I was in culinary school for a year, loved to cook, didn't want to be in a kitchen for 80 hours a week, came home, changed majors, was going to college, and just had an opportunity to interview at Pockets. And the boss and owner at the time, David Smith, was like, well, you seem like a good guy. You have no sales experience, but I can teach you how to do that. And that was 8.5 years ago. So I guess I'm not an old man in the game, but I guess longer than some, but not as much as most, I suppose.
So what made you choose that store to go interview at? Or like, what was it just interesting to you? Or were you interested in clothing? Was it just something that you happened to walk by? There was a for hire sign on the window.
See, this gets even better because I've always liked clothes. And so after culinary school, I thought, okay, I'll, interview at a mall store or box store, and always fit up all the applications and never got a call back, thank goodness at this point. And so I had a friend whose cousin worked at Pockets.
Oh.
And they were just kind of talking, and he's like, yeah, we're still looking for someone. And my buddy's like, hey, you should talk to my buddy Nelson. He's the best dressed guy I know, but I don't think he knows anything about the business. And with that stirring endorsement, I was able to get an interview and, interview with the guys, and they've kept me so far. So something's worked.
How has the store, I'm just so curious to know, because I don't know the answer, honestly, is how has the store changed in the last 8.5 years since you've been there?
When the original owner sold the business, there was a big brand that we had that was like a big chunk of our business. And so now, since we can't sell that brand anymore, it's almost like we've become more, I guess, kind of cosmopolitan in our outlook, for kind of a lack of a better word. And so instead of dedicating budget dollars to this brand, now we could spread out and kind of explore and find cool stuff and unique stuff. And I mean, the truth is, guys are incredibly loyal, and they shop at a store. Yes, they love the product, but there's almost like this guarantee that because, person X works at this store, I know whatever is in that store is going to be cool and unique and good, and I want to support that.
So basically you're saying like the guys, I mean, because they trust you, Nelson, they can come in, you'll say, listen, I've got this new, whatever this brand is. And they'll be like, listen, can I trust you? I'm down for it. Like, let me see it. I'll try it on.
Yeah, exactly. Assuming it's not anything kind of too wacky. I guess that's when the salesman comes.
I've got this bright orange jacket for you.
Shades of blue. I'm not going to put him in a coral sport coat, right? I could try. He'll say no, but
then you show him the blue sport coat.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you still have guys that shop with you from day one, from eight years ago that you met in the first year?
I do. And in fact, one of the cool things, one of the owners there, Doug, he has guys who shop with him for since the beginning, and now they're the kids of those guys shop with Doug, which just shows. I mean, that's one of the things about this business that I just think is phenomenal, just the relationships that you build with people consistently.
Right. Which is isn't it backwards though? I'm going to go off a total side tangent. Isn't it backwards that that's totally the case and everyone I know is the same way? Like you build relationships for the long term over such a long period of time, yet the country to a certain extent, a lot of people see retail as like a temporary job, right? Like a thing you do in college to make some money and then you move on to the next thing. But those 2 points like are completely contradictory, right? Like if you are to succeed in this business, if you need long-term relationships, it's by nature not a 1 year, 2 year kind of temporary job. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed, really.
I mean, you're exactly right. When I first started dating my wife and told her what I did, and she only told me this like a year ago, she's like, I didn't know if you'd be able to, I mean, retail, I don't know, that you work weird hours and, I don't know if you could like support or have a good salary. And now she's like, oh, now I realize what you meant when you said retail. Because I think a lot of people maybe it's just my dad's kind of stoicism that's in me. Like when people ask me what I do, I just say I'm a salesman. I'm like, well, I'm a salesman at like a upper level luxury kind of independent boutique. I'm just like, I sell clothes. And so you kind of have this like, oh, where does he sell clothes? And they don't. And I mean, if you ask questions, I'll let you know. And I think a lot of guys in our business are like that. And so when you just find out that someone's kind of in the rag business, as they'd say, you just assume it's at a box store somewhere.
Right. But even the like the box stores for say, like I've talked to people there and I still hear similar stories of like, yeah, I've had these guys shopping with me. If you do your job right, if you do it well, even no matter what store you're at, that you have customers that have shopped with you for 5 years, 10 years, or what have you. How does your wife, like how has she adapted since you started dating, since you work a lot of Saturdays and stuff like that with the retail schedule?
She's really just kind of used to it now. And so Sundays are our day. Like we'll go to church and then go to lunch and then just kind of hang out and spend the day together. She's in education. And so by the time summer rolls around, I'm off Wednesdays during the week. And so by the time summer rolls around, like Wednesdays just become our Saturdays, so to speak. But I think, by the end of this quarantine, I think a lot of people are going to be tired of looking at each other, I guess.
That is
you're making up for lost time at this point.
Right? That's a very interesting point.
We never spent any time together. Now you spend every day together.
Have you guys done anything interesting together since the quarantines happened?
I mean, we went on our 2-year anniversary vacation, literally spring break week. So the week before everything, actually like a week and a half before everything kind of got shut down and everything else. So it was kind of like the last hurrah, which is great. And then she's pregnant, so it's not like we can even, kind of do anything too exciting. It's not like we can, go to the store together. So it looks like, a lot of dog walks and a lot of just hanging out on the patio, which I mean, at the end of it all, kind of that quality time matters immensely.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even know your wife was pregnant. So congratulations. That's awesome.
I didn't put it on Facebook, so I guess it's not official or anything like that.
Yeah. If it's not on Facebook, it's not even real.
Doesn't count.
It's your first, right?
Yeah.
Man, when is she due?
End of August.
All right. You're not going to go with any of these. I've seen people naming their kids like Corona or COVID or something.
COVID.
It's actually kind of a dope name, though. I got to be honest with you. Like, if you forgot, like, Corona, I think is a weird name. But I got to be honest with you. If my name was COVID and this didn't happen, I think it would be a pretty sweet name.
COVID.
I know two people. I know someone who had twins and named them Corona and COVID.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Dead serious. Dead serious. It's crazy.
Oh gosh, it would be great to give someone like a very regal sounding name like Augustus Theodore COVID. Just kind of sneak it COVID in.
Just sneak it in there, like way at the end where it gets dropped off anyways.
Yeah,
that would be funny. So back to like this thing actually happening right now. I know you and I talked about it a little bit before the call, but like, what are you doing right now to keep engaged with? I mean, we've already established you have long-term customers and relationships. Like, how are you engaging them right now?
A lot of emails, a lot of texts and phone calls, and then the stores really kind of use this opportunity to actually do more with our Instagram, especially, because we've just found that there's just kind of more quick response with some of our customers. And we're amazed at how many of our guys who are, longtime customers, which means that they're 50, 60, 70 years old, are on Instagram. And they're on Instagram quite a bit. Not that
especially
we're trying
now
to be an influencer brand or anything, but, we've been doing kind of quick, hilarious videos. You kind of do some laydowns of kind of cool things we've gotten in. And, at the end of it, we're in retail, right? So we want to sell things. Mm-hmm. But we also kind of just want to be, a little bit of calm in the midst of the chaos and just kind of give people something and kind of chuckle about. And then we're also using it as kind of an opportunity to introduce people at the store and kind of things that are happening behind the scenes. So you kind of see the, I guess, people of pockets, as it were.
The videos are amazing. I think I wish more people were doing it. I mean, you're the right guy to do it, but I love the video where it pans down to the swimsuit, where like you're in a double-breasted blazer and like with the tie, and I'm like, because I've seen other people do. The way everyone else is taking it is actually doing like normal product knowledge stuff. So I'm like, oh, cool. Nelson's gonna do just a normal, and then it pans down, and you're in your swimsuit. Take the tie off. Take the double-breasted jacket unopened or whatnot. It's hilarious, man.
Like, it's almost like we want to kind of be at a lot of different things in the video. You want to kind of tell people how they could buy it, how to wear it, and then just kind of entertain them too. Because we've kind of toyed, and I think a few brands I've seen do it well, kind of, explaining brands. But if you don't do it right, it almost comes across as you kind of lecturing someone about the brand. Or
right. That's what I like about it, though. I like that there's humor, but there is like real, tactical dressing advice in each of the videos. It is like, okay, cool. Like there is something I can take away from this for spring, for summer coming up or whatnot.
Exactly.
Whose idea was it? Was it your idea?
Yeah, a spoonful of medicine or a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, right?
Exactly.
Kind of force a guy to buy something at some point.
Exactly. What has the response been? Have people been texting you or emailing you or commenting, saying anything about it?
So that's usually kind of the topic of our Zoom calls. And, guys are reaching out. They kind of appreciate it. We've sold a few things because of just kind of things they see on social media. But I think it's kind of using the social media as a leverage to, kind of the emails that we're sending kind of store wide, but then also kind of the emails you as the salesperson are sending to each person too, right? And so it's almost like it's kind of this multi-pronged thing where you almost want to, I don't know if inundate's quite the right word for it, but you just want to kind of send as much info out as you can. While being kind of respectful of people's inboxes and time, so they really appreciate it. And I think at this point, in the old days, we'd probably send, before COVID, we'd send maybe an email or two a week or something like that. We didn't want to kind of overwhelm people, but, now we probably send a few more emails than normal. we post a lot more than normal. And I think people are just kind of making time for that, because the truth is now we're spending a lot of times in front of our screens anyway, whether we want to or not.
I think that's the right approach, right? I mean, like, it's one thing to just say, I know retailers who have taken the stance of, I'm just going to wait it out. Like, I'm just going to go dormant until things open. But I think the right approach is like, okay, we now have time we didn't have before. And from talking to the owner, Andy, he had mentioned that he's having other people on your staff do new stuff too, in unique ways and utilizing people's talents. I think that's pretty cool to see people, like yourself too, being more present on the Instagram as like the face of the brand or whatnot, kind of stepping in and doing creative things just to, why not, right?
Exactly. I mean, you got to try something. One of the things that a couple of guys, Doug and Kent, were up there yesterday, and they redid the forms in the windows, and then there's kind of this chalkboard sign in the window that says, shop the look, see something you like, shoot us an email, which is, I mean, the truth is we're in a shopping center and there's a grocery store there and there's restaurants that are doing pickup. So people are wandering around anyway or driving around anyway. So, you might as well make it worth it.
Why not? Yeah. I mean, anything you can do.
I mean, you might not, I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. You might not do like gangbusters business with these kinds of things, but if nothing else, you kind of remain top of mind. So when things are back to normal, guys know you're there.
Right. They don't forget about you. You were doing something to be engaged. You're still building like little nuggets of that experience, relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's huge. So what are you, I guess, like, how are you approaching when the things do open up? Like, how do you think you'll manage your customers, your clients, your relationships when things do open?
That's a good one. I think this is why it's important to do the customer contact stuff now, because once things go back to normal, there's kind of this idea that everyone, like, kind of this wall's going to come down and everyone's going to be out, everything else, but people I think may still be kind of hesitant. And so you almost want to, again, just kind of make sure that you're top of mind for things like that.
Right.
It'd be cool to throw some kind of, like COVID bash or something after all of this is done. But again, who knows, right?
What are you most excited for? Once you get, like, I feel like we've all been out of the rat race. We've been out of our stores for a while. Like, what are you most excited to get back to?
Just dealing with people again and kind of chatting with people. I mean, I'm an introvert, and so I've kind of loved this time to kind of reset and read and kind of work on things, both for the store and then kind of in my own life. But I really miss just chatting with customers and kind of seeing what's going on with them, and doing it on the phone or even a text isn't quite the same as, the guys sitting down in the chair and I'm hopping up on the table and you're just kind of chatting about the day while you show them stuff, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, even this, like, everyone's moved to virtual, meetings and stuff like that, but...
Because I think the truth is you get in this business because you like product, right? But then you also like people.
Right.
And, it's not quite the same. I could imagine you like meeting with people, and all of a sudden it's like, to meet with people, you have to Zoom them all the time, which is nice, but it isn't quite the same as, shaking a hand and kind of having a coffee across from each other and just chatting.
Even the few people that I've seen from 6 feet away or whatnot, I get like so excited to go just like see them from 6 feet away. Seriously, dude, to just be there. It's almost like even people that I'll have a Zoom call with somebody and then, like next day I'll see them in person, and my level of excitement for the in-person versus the Zoom, even though I just saw their face or whatnot, is so different. I don't know.
Joking with some of our neighbors, because we did like a driveway kind of hangout, so everyone kind of had lawn chairs in their own driveway, and everyone misses social interaction to some degree, whether you're like an introvert or an extrovert or ambivert or whatever. I mean, we are made for community, and not being around people, just kind of strains people and drains them. It makes life difficult, unfortunately.
No, I think you're totally right. That's why it's interesting to me, some people who are like, this is the future, virtual communication and all this stuff. And then everyone else I talk to is like, I am dying to get outside. To me, I see it as almost like the end of like true, like, it basically, to me, it proves that we'll never be able to survive as like a truly virtual, world in general.
Yeah.
Even if we all have hazmat suits on or something in the future of like, we're all going out in some sci-fi thing. I don't know.
Maybe it's like Star Trek and, you're all on the holodeck or something with some kind of active imaginary thing going on. But, we need people. And even the people who don't necessarily want to admit they need people. My
Right.
Sunday school class, we do Zoom, on Sundays. And the first one, like 3 weeks ago, was just kind of awkward because no one had really kind of dealt with Zoom up to that point. So you're just kind of talking and there's no response. And now because you're on Zoom for work or with family or friends or whatever else, it's almost like everyone's become some kind of Zoom expert. And so kind of the camera and the screen aren't as awkward as they used to be, but it's still not the best substitute for one-on-one
Right.
interaction.
No, absolutely. All right, man. I'll leave it at that because I know you got to get to the store that we've been talking about. So I'll let you run. But thanks for hopping on. I mean, I even though we can't meet in person, I still do like to see people's faces and have some conversations. So I'm not on my computer all day. So this has been awesome.
Awesome. Right on, man. Appreciate the chance. Good luck.
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this conversation that I had with Nelson Howard. I hope you took something away from it that you can use in your sales or to build your luxury men's or women's wear business or just to build your business at all. If you like what you see here, subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna post all my conversations that I'm having here, business advice, fashion, business advice, you name it. It's right here on this here channel. We'll see you next time.